Okay, so let's come to this place to start our class today. And so you can be nice and tall, and you can start to breathe into this tall shape that you've created for yourself. So whether you're elevated up on a block or maybe seated on a blanket if you like, you can feel free to extend your spine. And then just let your hands rest anywhere that's comfortable for you, either palms down if you want to feel a little bit more grounded in this practice, or maybe palms up if you want to feel a little bit more energy coming to you. And you can feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, or you can just keep a really soft gaze towards the front of your mat, making your eyelids heavy. And then just take a few really deep breaths. Feel it coming into your chest, into your lungs, into your rib cage. Let the shoulders fall down gently away from your ears. Just kind of let go of any gripping. Really come into this notion that your breath is a stable anchor for you, and we can always come back to this breath. Really sitting up tall through your spine and extending through the crown of the head. And then let's go ahead and meet in Anjali Mudra, palms together in front of the heart, just connecting your fingertips and the base of your hand together. And then start to formulate an intention for your practice right now. So what is in your heart today? As we are hunkering down 1 month into this New York pause, this sheltering in place, and can we always come back here to a place of connection with each other? So maybe you're grateful for that, or anything else that you're grateful for as this situation continues to develop. Take a deep breath into your heart's intention now. And then you can symbolically raise your hands up so that your thumbs are touching right between your eyebrows, right to your intuitive center, like you're bringing your intention of your heart right up into your mind, into that third eye, intuitive center. And then exhale, let your hands come back down to your lap. Gently let the eyes come open. And just acknowledging your space around you, you can transfer to a tabletop shape. So we'll begin by doing a few rounds of cat and cow. So just go ahead and take the hands out shoulder width apart. Knees can be hip width apart. And then just begin to inhale as you sway the belly down towards the mat. Lift your tailbone, lift your gaze up. And then exhale as you coil in, pressing your navel to your spine and rounding your upper back. Try that again, inhaling and swaying. And then exhaling to round the spine. Just starting to undulate your spine in 2 directions. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, round. Just feeling the connection of the vertebrae, the bones in your back as they glide together and apart. And then do this for a couple more rounds on your own timing. Try to see if you can breathe fully into cow and exhaling fully out for cat pose. And then move any other ways that feel good in your body. You might circle the hips around. And whatever you're doing on one side, go ahead and try it to the other direction. Just kind of warming up the body. You can also just wag your tail to one side, look over your shoulder, wag your tail to the other side, look over the other shoulder. Maybe stretch a leg straight out behind you and kind of stretch out the calf with the ball of the foot on the floor, or any other movements that you'd like to take. So you can really feel free to explore how your body feels this morning. And maybe you're coming forward and back, maybe into a child's pose, maybe into an easy back bend. And then eventually, we're going to come up to a kneeling position. If you have blocks or books, something that you can prop yourself up on so that your spine is nice and straight and tall. Just kneeling and putting your hands right on your lap. So we're going to do a breath this morning called Kapalabhati breath, skull shining breath. You'll see why in a moment. Maybe it's going to make your skull shine. It's a very energetic breath. So as you're kneeling, hands on your thighs, what you're focusing on is the exhalation through the nose, and it's a really sharp, quick exhale. The inhale will come in on its own. So as you kind of explode out that breath through the nose, you're going to, and then inhale afterwards. So we're going to do about 30 of these in a row, okay? And so let's just start in by take a deep breath in, normal breath in, normal breath out. And then we'll begin. So inhaling quickly. Excuse me, exhaling through the nose and inhaling through the nose. Ten more. And then just breathe normally. It's kind of a strange little quick breath, but it does energize and heat up the body. Breathe normally a few times in and out through the nose. Let your shoulders settle down. And then let's go ahead and come to a downward facing dog. So letting that breath go. Plant your hands, spread them out, shoulder width apart, spread your fingers out nice and wide. And then tuck your toes under, inhale, press your toes into the floor, lift your hips up, and then walk back into your upside down V-shaped downward facing dog. And then feel free to paddle out the feet and rock. You can bend one knee and then the other. You can sway on the balls of your feet if you like. We're just kind of testing it out, maybe bending into the knees. Just kind of stretching out in your downward dog. And then have your heels lower down as close to the ground as you can. It's okay if they don't immediately ground, and you can always bend the knees if you'd like. No problem with bent knees. Maybe just trying to get that rib cage back towards your thighs. So you're really stretching out your spine here in your downward facing dog. Really try to make the heels feel heavy towards the earth. So really try to get this feeling of widening the upper back. So like you're separating your shoulder blades and wrapping the shoulders around and down towards the ground. Let's turn this down a little bit. And then we're going to walk forward towards our hands. So you can tiptoe forward towards the top of your mat and forward fold with your feet hip width apart. So just let everything drape over the legs. If you'd like, you can grab opposite elbows, bend your knees as much as you want to, once again, and if you'd like to sway from side to side, go ahead and do that while letting your head feel really heavy. Stretching out the back all the way from your tailbone and up through your lower back, middle back, upper back, neck. Feel free to shake out your head, yes and no. And then exhale, drop your arms down if you had your elbows clasped, and start to slowly roll up to standing. So taking your time, hands heavy, head heavy, slowly rolling up to Tadasana, mountain pose. As you roll your head and your chin up last, roll your shoulders back, open through the heart. Take another breath in, shrug the shoulders up, inhale. And then roll them back, opening up through the heart. One more time, inhale, breath. Shoulders come up towards the ears, and then big back circle backwards. Palms can face forward, thumbs to the sides. Lift and spread your toes out, and then reconnect your toes back down to the mat. Do that a few times. Really feel that grounding in sensation. stability of the earth beneath you. And then take a sweeping breath in, sweep the arms up, out wide, reach all the way up, look up, stretch nice and tall, and then exhale, fold over the legs. Take a halfway lift, inhale, breath, look forward, flat back, and then exhale, breath to fold. Inhale to rise, sweep the arms out wide, inhale, breath, palms come together, and then exhale, breath, hands in front of the heart. Let's try that again. So saluting the sun, inhaling and reaching the arms up, and then exhale, collapsing over the legs, forward fold. Inhale a halfway lift, either fingertips on the earth or you can press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward, and then exhale to release and fold. Plant your hands on the outsides of your feet and step back to a plank pose this time. So your plank can be an elevated high plank, or you can feel free to modify your plank by putting your knees down on the ground, or if wrists are a problem, you can come down to a forearm plank, or fourth option, knees down, forearms. So you have lots of options in your plank of choice. And then take a breath in. We're going to lower down. So lower down, knees to the ground if you didn't have them down already. And then come down, chest and chin. Inhale, come up for a baby cobra shape. So you're going to use your back muscles to lift you. So your hands can be really light on the earth. Maybe you pick them up, hover them, squeezing your shoulder blades together and feeling the tops of your feet onto the floor. Inhale. And then exhale, release yourself down. Press up again for a cobra. Inhale, breath. Roll the tops of the arm bones back and open through the heart. And then exhale, releasing down. Let's try a wider cobra now. So if you have some room, take your hands out wide outside of your mat, maybe coming up onto tented fingers. And then press your feet into the earth. Inhale, press up into a king cobra, a queen cobra, a little bit higher. And then exhale, release yourself down. Try that again. Inhale, breath, press into the fingers, rising up. And then exhale to come down. One more like that. Press the feet into the floor, fingers into the floor. Inhale, rise. And then exhale to lower. All the way down. Take your hands to frame your rib cage and then press up to your tabletop shape for a moment here. And then from your table, we're going to go ahead and thread the needle. Stretch out the outsides of the shoulders. So take that left hand, center it in the front of your mat, right in the center, under your face. Right hand can inhale and reach all the way up. Look up towards your right hand. And then exhale, slide your right hand underneath your left arm. And you can go ahead and land the outside of your right shoulder and the side of your head, right side of your head on the mat. Support yourself with your left hand. So you can breathe here in this twist. You might feel this in your upper back and your waist. If you want a little more, you can reach the left arm up toward the ceiling and maybe just do a couple of wrist circles. And if you like a little more, you can bend the top arm. Just an option. Rolling your left shoulder open, back. Just exposing the heart up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then exhale, releasing and just unwinding from whatever option you were in. Pressing yourself up, unthreading that right arm, and take a counter stretch. Reach that right arm up. And then exhale, bring that right arm back down to the mat. Let's go to the other side. So your right hand will be front and center under your face. Inhale, sweep that left arm to reach all the way up. Look up towards your hand. Exhale, slide that left hand underneath the right. You can move your right arm forward to support you. Stretching the outside of that left shoulder on the mat. Supporting yourself with your right hand. Again, taking any options that you like. You can reach your right arm up towards the ceiling if you want a little bit more twist. And maybe releasing your wrist with a few circles. Or you can even bend that top arm, placing the back of your hand on the back of your waist if you like. And then inhale, roll your right shoulder back, exposing your heart up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, unwind. So start coming back from whatever option you were in. Support yourself. Right hand into the ground to unthread that left arm and counter stretch. Reach the left arm up. And then exhale that left arm back down towards the earth. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So from here, go ahead and tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift your knees. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. So we're going to be here for 3 breaths. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart or maybe even more, and spread the toes out and really ground them down into your mat. Lengthen your spine. Take another deep breath here. And exhale completely. As you inhale, raise your right heel up towards the sky. So you're in 3-legged dog here. And then see if you can point through that foot. So extend through the ankle, but then pull your toes back, kind of like a Barbie foot, right? And then go ahead and bend that knee. Stack your hips to open. So while you're doing this opening motion here, make sure that your shoulders stay completely level and you're not tilting over to the left side just because you're twisting your lower body. Then go ahead and inhale back up to 3-legged dog. Stretch out that right leg and re-square your hips. And then exhale, bring that foot back down to the earth. Let's try that on the other side. Inhale, left heel rises, and then pointing the foot, and then flexing the toes back toward you. Bend the knee, and then open the left knee toward the left side. Continuing to keep the shoulders nice and square. And then go ahead and inhale, re-extend the leg, re-square the hips, and land that left foot back down next to the right foot. You're going to bring your shoulders over the hands. You're going to roll forward into a plank pose. Feel free to put the knees down if you like. And then we're going to lower down for a vinyasa here. So knees, chest, chin is always welcome. Or you can lower through chaturanga, that low push-up if you like. Exhaling down, untucking the toes. Inhale, find your cobra pose. And then exhale, bring it back home, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Take another deep breath. And exhale completely. One more deep breath as you're pressing away from your hands and wrists. Spread the fingers. And then exhale completely. Bring your feet together to touch. Inhale. Come forward into your plank pose. So bring the shoulders over the hands. And then go back to your downward facing dog. Try that again. Inhale, rolling forward into a plank posture. Shoulders over the hands. Exhale, coming back to your downward facing dog. With the feet together, inhale, take your right leg up towards the sky. Go ahead and bend that knee and stack the hips to open. And then you can feel free to make some circles here. So they can be really small, subtle circles if you like, or they can be really grand. It's up to you. So you're just kind of seeing how your hips are feeling this morning. Go the other direction. Just make 2 or 3 circles. And then inhale, re-extend your leg up to the sky, re-square your hips. And then as you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, right underneath like a 3-legged plank, under your core. Squeeze your right heel up towards your glutes, and then step your foot through. You're going to ground your back heel and pivot on the ball of the foot for a warrior 1 foot, but don't rise up yet. And if you need blocks or some props to bring the ground up a little bit higher, you can feel free to do that. Frame your front foot. So your right knee is right over the right ankle, and the back foot is turned out into a warrior 1. You've landed the heel. All right, so we're not going to come to standing. We're going to come to the inside of the right front leg. And we're gonna keep walking our arms around to this diagonal, kind of funky warrior one meets downward facing dog posture. So you can walk your hands out, or if you have blocks or books, if you need to have your hands up a little bit higher, that's fine. And then you're kind of stretching diagonally as you fold to the inside of the right leg. So you're getting a stretch in the spine, like downward facing dog, and you can feel free to come up onto tented fingers. So come up onto these little spider hands here. Take a deep breath into the back body, widen the shoulder blades apart, and then exhale, melt the heart down a little bit more. And then as you inhale, walk your hands back around. We're going to the outside of the right knee now. And then you're going to spin on the ball of the back foot to come back into a lunge. So come up onto the ball of the back foot, square hips. You're on the outside. And then you can place your back knee down. So you've kind of come into this low lunge twisted thingy. So instead of taking the palms together like we do a prayer twist, we're going to hug in. So your right arm is cradling your left arm. Grab the outsides of your shoulders on the outside of your right knee, and the left knee is down in a low lunge shape. Okay, if you want this to be more challenging, you can feel free to lift your knee off the ground, coming up into a higher lunge, but you can feel free to keep the knee down. So in this hug, as you inhale, you're going to rise up, either staying in a hug in a low lunge or in a higher lunge, or you can continue to wrap your arms around for an eagle arm wrap. Okay, so stay where it feels good for you. Your knee can be down or lifted. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift your fingers up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to bow down, making the arms, forearms be heavy in your eagle wrap to the inside of that front knee. Let your head hang down, heavy with the arms. And then as you inhale, you're going to rise up, unfurl the arms, reaching up, and then exhale, framing your front foot. So if you had your knee down, just press into the ball of your foot to lift your knee off the earth. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot, plank pose. As you inhale, press forward over your hands, shoulders over hands. As you exhale, lower down for your connecting flow. So you can lower your knees down, bend your elbows straight back, chest and chin. Slide forward, find your back bend. Inhale, maybe cobra, maybe upward facing dog if you want a little bit more. And you're stretching out those hip flexors. And then exhaling, taking your journey back to your downward facing dog. Any way that you'd like to get there. So feel free to rest in child or come through table, and then come on back up to your downward facing dog. So we're going to be here for 3 breaths. This is our active resting posture. You can always come down to table or child if you want to rest not in downward facing dog. Take another deep breath. Exhale. One more breath here. And then exhale completely and bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky, bending the knee, and then stacking the hips to open. Keeping the arms level here. And then inhale, re-extend the leg and re-square your hips. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose in that 3-legged plank. Squeeze your heel up towards your glutes, round your spine like cat, and then step that left foot through between the hands. At this point, you can lower the back knee down if you like. No, I'm sorry, we're going to that funky warrior one. So go ahead and get up on the ball of your foot so your back leg is extended. Walk your hands to the inside of your left leg, of your front leg. Keep walking around about 45 degrees. So we're coming into this downward facing dog meets warrior one kind of stretch. You can come on to tented fingers and then really fold forward, lowering your heart down towards the earth. So you've got a warrior one back foot. back heel is grounded and the toes are turned out for a warrior one. Take another deep breath here. And then as you exhale, start walking your hands back. And as you do, you're going to pivot on the ball of your back foot so you re-square your hips. Keep walking your hands to the outside of your front leg. So you might bend your back knee and land your back knee down. So here you are in this twisted, kind of a twisted low lunge. And then you're going to cradle your right arm with your left arm in this hug here, right on the outside of your front knee. Okay? So here we are in this hug. Again, you can be up if you want a more intense lunge. You can lift your knee up off the earth or you can leave it down. Then from here, inhale, coming up, and then you're going to go ahead and continue that eagle arm wrap if you like. You can always stay in the hug. So wrapping the arms around each other. As you inhale, lift your fingertips up toward the sky. As you exhale, you're going to fold onto the inside of that left front knee. Let your head and arms be heavy. So again, back knee can be down or back knee can be lifted. You pick your intensity level. And then as you inhale, you're going to rise up, unfurl the arms, reach them up, inhale breath, and then exhale, hands down to the mat. So if your knee was down, tuck your toes under, lift the knee off the earth, step your left foot back to your right foot, plank pose. Inhale in your plank. Your connecting flow here, so lowering knees, chest, chin, or if you want chaturanga, bending the elbows and hovering at 90 degrees in a low push-up, untucking your toes, finding your back bend. That could be a cobra or it could be an upward facing dog, you choose. And then exhale, taking it back up, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. So as you're stretching in your downward dog, really trying to make the heels feel heavy, spiraling your inner thighs towards each other. Take another deep breath. One more. Inhale breath. And then exhale. So you're going to walk into a shortened version of downward dog. So from your downward dog, all you're going to do is maybe take one of your feet lengths forward. You might need a little more. And you can feel free to bend the knees. We're going to come into this twisted downward dog. So with your right arm, you're going to come underneath your core, cross it to the left ankle, grab onto the outside of your left ankle, and then as you inhale, you're going to peek underneath your left arm, like you're looking out a little window that you've created with your left arm and your left leg. So twisting to the left. Inhale, breath. And then as you exhale, come back, land your right hand back next to shoulder width apart in your shortened downward facing dog. We're going to try that to the other side now. So you're in the shortened version of your downward facing dog. You're going to reach your left arm across your body underneath your core to your right ankle. So grab onto your right ankle. Again, knees can be bent if you need. And then as you inhale, start to look to the right underneath your right arm like you're peeking out that window. Take an inhale breath. So you're rotating the heart to peek underneath the right arm. Kind of a twisted downward dog. Take another breath. And then as you exhale, unwind, re-land yourself, and then step back to a normal distance downward facing dog. Okay, from your downward dog, just place your knees down on the earth, untuck your toes. We're going to come into puppy pose from here. So keeping your hips over your knees, you're going to just walk the hands forward and land the forehead down on the earth. So you're getting a little bit of a back bend happening in your upper back. So this has to do with how much you want to, how flexible your shoulders are and your upper back. So you can come down forehead to the mat, or some people are able to get the chin down on the mat. Do what feels comfortable for you. Don't compromise any parts of your body. Take another few breaths here in your puppy pose. And then start to come back up. So from on your hands here, you're just going to come down into Sphinx. So bend your elbows to land your forearms. So elbows are right underneath your shoulders. In Sphinx pose, open your fingers nice and wide. And pull your belly button in and up toward your spine. Engage your fingertips as if you're pulling yourself forward between the gates of your arms. And then lengthen through the crown of the head so that your spine is long from your tailbone to your crown in Sphinx. So that's another choice of a belly back bend you can do when we're doing vinyasas. You can always come down to a Sphinx pose. Okay, and then from your Sphinx pose, you're going to tuck your toes under. Don't hate me. We're going to press up into a forearm plank. So engage your belly button, lift your hips off the earth. You've got your Sphinx arms, so this is forearm plank. Keep zipping your belly button in and up. I'm going to breathe a couple more breaths here. And come all the way back down. Release, turn your head to one side. Take your hands along your legs with your palms facing up. Just relax the shoulders. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe roll out the wrists. And we're going to go into Shalabhasana, locust pose from here. So take your forehead to the earth so that your head is straight. And then as you inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Lift your palms up toward the ceiling. And then lift your feet up so that you're just balancing on your belly for locust pose. Shalabhasana. Take another deep breath, rising up a little higher. And then exhale, release, let yourself come down. Gently turn your head to one side. You can feel free to move your hips from side to side, or maybe windshield wiper the legs if you like. Okay, and then coming up into Sphinx again. So bring your forearms back onto the earth, shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then from here, we're coming back into that forearm plank. So tuck your toes under. Inhale, press your belly button in and up toward your spine. Lift so that your hips are in line with your shoulders and heels. A straight line from your heels to your shoulders, and then extend the head so that you're lengthening the spine through the crown of the head. Zip your belly button in. Take another couple breaths here in your forearm plank. And then slowly lower yourself back down. Take your hands behind you again. We're going to do another round of locust pose. This time you can interlace your hands behind your back, or you can do a regular locust like we just did. If you want to interlace your fingers behind your back, you can take them right at your sacrum. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, elbows come together, and then you can point your index finger straight down your tailbone as you inhale, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the head, and then lifting the feet for a bound locust. You can choose to pick up your hands off your back, any amount that's comfortable for you. And then exhale, slowly releasing the hands, turning your face to the other side. Feel free to move your hips back and forth. Take another few breaths here. And then slowly we're going to meet in child's pose. So just pressing yourself up and back. You can open your knees out as wide as your mat. Let your toes come together. Sit back onto the heels. Release your forehead down to the ground. And breathe into your back body, allowing your back to really stretch after a couple of those back bends. Take another breath here. And then eventually we're going to be making our way back to downward facing dog. You can take your time to get there. Eventually lifting knees, lifting hips, grounding into the feet. Take a deep breath into your back body. And exhale, melt your heart down. Go ahead and bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep the right leg up high to the sky, bending the knee and then stacking the hips to open. Trying to keep those shoulders level. Just because the lower body's twisting doesn't mean we have to get all out of whack with the upper body. So just press down through that right shoulder and square out both of the shoulders. Inhale, re-extend the leg, re-square the hips, and then exhale to step forward between your hands. Rising up this time to a high crescent lunge. Taking the arms up above the head. So you're on the ball of the back foot and your hips are square. Back heel is lifted. Take a deep breath in, look up towards your fingers, and then energize through the fingers. Really spread your fingers nice and wide. Inhale, breath. And then exhale to bow forward. Take a little 45-degree bow. Sweep the arms back. Try that again. Inhale, breath, reaching up, looking up towards the fingers, and really boldly opening through the fingers. Exhale, breath to bow. 45-degree bow. Sweep the arms back. Inhale, reaching back up. Looking up through the fingers. And then exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Inhale in your plank as you shift your weight over your hands. And then exhaling and lowering down your way for your connecting flow here. And then choosing a back bend of your choice. So we've already gone through 4 different back bends. Cobra, upward facing dog, locust pose, sphinx pose, and I'm sure there's others that you know. And then exhaling and coming back home, downward facing dog, taking your time and your way to come back to your downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here as you stretch your spine. Exhaling as you ground down through the heels. Take another deep breath into the upper back body. As you exhale, lowering the heart down towards the mat. One more deep breath. And exhale completely. Bringing the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that left leg up high to the sky and then bend your knees, stack your hips to open to the left. Now see if you can keep those shoulders nice and square, even though you're twisting the lower body. Inhale, re-extend your leg long, re-square your hips, and then exhale, bending the knee and stepping it through between the hands, rising up to your high crescent lunge, reaching the arms all the way up above your head and spreading out through the fingers. Take a deep breath in, look up towards the hands, energize through those fingers. Inhale. As you exhale, you bow. So take your hands to reach straight back towards your glutes. Inhale, breath, reaching up. all the way up, looking up between the hands. Exhale, you bow. Letting the breath out as you humbly fold. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Look up towards your hands. And then exhale, taking the hands down to the earth, stepping back to your plank pose. As you inhale, press through the toes to make the shoulders come over the wrists. Belly's engaged, and then lower down as you exhale. For your connecting flow, taking the back bend of your choice. And then exhaling to a child's pose. Let's come to a child's pose. Let your forehead come down to the mat. Take a couple breaths into your back body. Let's go ahead and walk the hands off to the right side for diagonal stretch in your child's pose. Left hand can sit right next to the right hand. Take a deep breath into the left side body, feeling it through that left shoulder, all down the arm to the hip and into the rib cage. And then exhale, walk yourself back to center. Let's try that stretch over to the left side. So arms can come all the way across your mat, diagonally reaching to stretch the right side body. Take a deep breath in, feel that stretch all the way through the right arm and shoulder and down to the hip. And exhale completely. Come back to center. And then keeping the forehead down on the mat, take your arms out wide to either side of your mat and come up onto tented fingers so that your forearms and your arms are raised off the floor. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale. Walk yourself back up. So we're going to sit down on the ground. Take your legs out in front of you. And we're going to come into Dandasana, staff pose. So flex your toes back towards your head. Sit up nice and tall. Your hands can be right next to your hips. And then keep a soft gaze right over your toes. Belly button pressing in and up toward your spine. And then we'll do a forward fold from here. Inhale, take your arms to reach all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward from the hips. So try not to round your back. And if you have a strap or a belt or something that you can use to place underneath the balls of your feet, even better. You can hold on to that strap or belt and you can pull your heart forward towards your feet rather than rounding your back. So long spine, folding from the hips. Take another couple breaths here. And exhale, release that stretch. If you had a strap or belt, you can move that out of the way. And then we're going to come into bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together, knees out to the sides, and bring your feet in as close to your groin as you can. So pull the feet in, and then sit up nice and tall. So this isn't about rolling into a round back like this. This is more about pull onto your feet and bring your heart forward between the arms so your back is flat. So you don't have to lean over very much to just get a nice long spine here. So really opening up into the inner groins and lengthening your spine. In a moment, we'll do turtle pose, and that's the one when you do get to round your back over. So right now, just try to stay nice and tall and long and bring your chest and heart forward between your arms as you pull onto your ankles. And then go ahead and release yourself to come back up. Now you can walk your feet a little further out in front of you, so you're making a bigger diamond shape. And then, I'll stay here. So from here, take your arms and swoop them underneath your calves. Tiptoe your fingers forward and maybe coming down. Now you can go ahead and drop the head down for turtle pose. And now you can round your back as much as you like, lowering your head down towards your feet, any amount. Breathing into your back body. One more breath. And then slowly unthread your arms from underneath your calves. Bring your knees together. Feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. We're going to go into reverse tabletop from here. So with your feet flat on the floor, you can take your hands right behind your sitting bones, fingers facing towards your feet. And then from here, press into the feet to lift your hips up off the earth, making a little table, reverse table shape. And you can look straight up to the ceiling. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can drop your head all the way back. That may not be comfortable for all people, so do what's comfortable for you. Extra challenge if you want to take it. You can bring your feet together in your table and maybe raise one leg up so right foot can extend up toward the ceiling. And lower that foot back down if you took the challenge. And you want to try that to the other side. So feet are together on the floor so you get nice and centered in your balance. Inhale, bend your left knee, and extend your foot up toward the ceiling if you like. Totally don't have to take that challenge. And then lowering that leg back down and lowering yourself back down to the earth. So we're going to take our legs into a wide straddle. So into a V. Straddle them as much as is comfortable for you, and take props or books or anything that you can use. We're going to forward fold in our we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So make sure that your toes are pointing up toward the ceiling and that when you come forward, feet aren't turning in. So keep extending the toes up toward the ceiling. So you might at first maybe just fingertip your way forward. Maybe you're here and that's fine. Maybe eventually, maybe you get down to the forearms. Just breathe into this stretch wherever you are. And if you have props, maybe you can lower your head down onto your props, feeling the stretch in the inner thighs. Take a couple more breaths here. You might feel yourself release as you breathe. And then slowly make your way out of your forward fold. You'll take your hands to the earth to support you if they weren't there already, and walk yourself back up. We're going to take a couple of, keep your wide-legged fold. We're going to take a couple of side stretches. So we're going to go over to your left, which is going to be my right, right? Just mirror me. So you're going to take your right hand on the inside of your right leg, slide it on the floor, left hand can come up, and reaching both hands toward your right foot or in the vicinity. And then you can inhale, roll your heart open towards the sky, looking up underneath your left arm. So this is a side stretch. We're not trying to fold forward to the leg. We are sideways. Take another breath here. And then exhale, slowly slide yourself back up. So let's try that to the other side. So your forearm, left forearm is sliding on the floor on the inside of your left leg. Right arm can reach up. Keep sliding that left hand toward your left foot. and reaching that right arm up and over the right ear for a stretch of the right side body. Take a deep breath in and look up underneath your right arm. Maybe you're just looking right past your right bicep. Stretching the side body. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Take another breath here. And then exhale, slowly coming back up. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your feet back together. We're going to come to boat pose from here. So toes can be on the earth, hands behind your back. Sit up nice and tall, broaden through the chest. Inhale, lift the toes up. Lift the hands up to balance in your boat pose. You can always support yourself with your hands right behind your thighs if you like, or outstretched for balance. Keep breathing here, sitting up as tall as you can, opening through the chest. Feel free to extend one leg up a little higher, and maybe you try that with the other leg. Smiling gets bonus points. Maybe you try with both. And then go ahead and wrap your arms around yourself, giving yourself a hug. So we're going to do, what are we going to do? Did we do everything already? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're going to do option for a couple different options for the shoulder stand. So for shoulder stand, you're going to start on your back. You can bend your knees to start, placing your feet flat on the ground. Your hands are going to help you with this, so you can go ahead and bring your knees up toward your heart to begin with. So right underneath your bottom, your hands are going to start walking up your bottom, pushing your bottom forward towards your head, and then you're bending into the elbows to kind of make a little shelf out of your upper arms, and then take your hands to your sacrum. Press your sacrum and your hips up towards your head. So the knees are still bent. You're trying to support your lower back, your sacrum with your hands, and you essentially have like a 90-degree bend in your arms. Okay? Then you can slowly raise one leg up and then the other. Make sure that you keep your head straight when you're doing this. You don't want to turn your head while you're in this position. So your head is flat on the ground, chin is sort of tucked toward the chest, and you're going to raise your feet up into your shoulder stand. Keep breathing. And if you're here and you want an opportunity for plow pose, you can feel free to lower maybe one leg at a time to the ground above your head. And then maybe straightening the arms out, palms up. Take another breath. Okay, and so to come back up out of this, make sure that your hands are at your back. If you're still up in your shoulder stand with the legs straight up, you can bend your knees, lowering them down toward your head, and slowly unroll right onto your back. Letting that go. So let's go ahead and lengthen the legs all the way out. Tee the arms straight out to the sides. We're going to do a supine twist here. So first, I want you to bend your right knee up towards your chest, and then take your right knee across the left side of your body. So just kind of, your left leg is long, your right leg is bent, and your arms are in letter T. And see if you can keep your right shoulder grounded. Sometimes that's hard. And then bring that knee back towards heart center. Reach your arms around your shin, your right shin. Pull that knee in a little bit to the outside of your chest on the right side. This is called wind relieving pose. And then go ahead and let go of that right leg. Lengthen it all the way down. Arms are out to a T. We're going to do that to the other side. So bending the left knee up toward your chest and then just taking that left knee over to the right side for a twist. Right leg is long. Left shoulder stays grounded. Take a deep breath. And then bringing that left knee back up towards your heart. Wrap your arms around your shin. Pull that left knee into the chest, but also to the outside of the left chest. Right leg is long for wind relieving pose. And then exhale, release that leg down. So we're going to come into our Shavasana resting posture now. Make sure you get as comfortable as you want to be for about 5 minutes of relaxation. So you can take a blanket if you have one, and or two, one for a cover, one for padding. If you have pillows, make yourself as comfortable as you want to be and as warm as you want to be. And then feel free to spread out as much space as you have available to you. Let your arms go out to the sides. Close your eyes, or don't close your eyes. Take a soft gaze if you like. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable. And take a few really deep breaths. Just breathing deeply and allowing these postures to sink into your body. This practice to just sink in, giving yourself some stability during these uncertain times. Let your rib cage open as you breathe. Let your lungs stretch, filling up. And then eventually just starting to take some subtle movements, curling fingers in towards palms, maybe circling the ankles and spreading the toes. And then very gently rocking the head from one side to the other, if that feels good. And then bringing one knee up and then the other in towards your heart, and just kind of rolling from side to side to massage your lower back. And then go ahead and roll over onto one side. And just pause. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back up to a seat, supporting yourself with your hands, coming back to your peaceful seat, resting your hands anywhere on your lap. And just feeling the effects of your practice today. We'll meet with our hands in front of our hearts and seal this practice today with the universal vibration of Om. So you can feel free to join me as we take a deep breath in. Om. my soul humbly bows down to the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you everybody for coming today.